Can you see me?
Not yet, but I'm not finding you yet. Hold on 1 second. Let me, bloody heck. Okay, never mind. I'm going to cancel that. I was going to send you something, but let's do this now. Oh, there. That looks great, actually. Wow.
I'm recording because I wanted you to see it and get your reaction on camera.
Oh, that's fantastic. You look like a grandpa.
It's going tomorrow. I have a job interview tomorrow, so I have to shave it all off.
Oh no. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad I got to see it before you lost it. Wait, hold on a second. Let me just. Okay. Wait. Hold on. So let's just get. There we go. All right. A couple screenshots of you. Just don't mind me.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
The man behind the caps there. Yeah. So I got past the itching and all that, and it's all look very nice.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. No, looks great. What's the job interview?
It's for an IT job, doing IT stuff.
Oh, how do you spell that?
HA something.
Oh, you're gonna nail it. You're gonna do great.
Yeah, love me, no problem.
All right. So how you doing? How's life treating you?
I've got my new office space here.
Wow, is that a bathroom sink in the background?
Yeah, with a boat.
Okay.
Well, in the bathtub with the boat.
Oh, okay, good. And a rubber ducky. Okay.
Rubber ducky.
You're the one. Hey, all right. So what are we on? Are we live or are we?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Then hi, Rick. How are you? Welcome to the lollygagging video portion of our show.
Howdy, Dave.
Howdy. All right. Well, you look like Rick's nicer brother. That's what you look like. You look like a friendlier sibling of Rick.
Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, so, I couldn't do it when it was still, not gray. But between the military and my wife, it's never been allowed to get this long.
Wow, what got you growing it so long this time around?
Well, I decided I was going to grow a beard. It was like a bucket list thing. And now I'm going to shave it off because it annoys the crap out of it.
Yeah. They're going to cut it all off and put it in a bucket. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's the plan.
So I've not seen you for a while. So what have you been up to? How's the language in your life?
Oh, well, I gotta say, I got this. I had a guy on the forum. I had all that. I was doing the free and legal challenge for Setswana.
Yeah,
and of course I couldn't use any. I couldn't purchase anything. Anyway, that goes for a year. So anyway, that's over with now. And because I'm not doing the free and legal bit, but I'm still interested in the language, I managed to get this. So the guy sent me a textbook.
Oh yeah,
cost me a small fortune in postage, but yeah, it's really good. So I've actually got a book to use for it. So that's quite good. So now I might actually learn something.
Yeah, I had seen that book. That publisher had a website that I went to, and they have a number of African language resources. But I think when I tried to go to purchase it, or at least put it in my cart, I think they had said, not available. Try again later, and they said that for I think everything in their catalog. So I ended up not really pursuing that. But how is that book?
It's pretty good, actually. It's really good. It was, well. It covers a lot of the stuff that I didn't get from the free stuff, the Memrise course and the sort of, Peace Corps and all the other stuff I was using. It covers a lot of things in more detail. So I knew some of the stuff just from the other resources, but this goes into much more depth about how and when and how they use it and why they use it in that way. So it's really good, really good. I'm very impressed with that.
Oh,
and then I'll show you all my stack of crap here. I got this book, which is an easy reader in Mandarin. I don't know if you can see that or not.
I see something red.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't see the text so much. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay, Anna. Something Anna.
Yeah.
Nice. That's nice. You have a book with a girl's name on it. That's helpful.
It's very helpful. Anyway, so if you can't see that, you can't see this either, which is basically Can you see it?
I don't have money. Is that what that says?
Yeah, leave me alone. Help! I'm trapped in a fortune cookie packer. Now, what I've been doing is, because that is an easy reader for Chinese, it has the characters and it also has the pinyin, and so I'm basically copying the pinyin. So because I'm trying to learn to memorize the characters and to write them, so I'm basically copying the book onto a piece of paper, and I've learned to write smaller. Used to write characters were like ginormous pieces of paper. So I'm doing that. Trying to do, well, basically what I've been trying to do is 20 minutes of Italian, 20 minutes of French, 20 minutes of Sichuan, 20 minutes of Chinese every day. That's not really been working out for me, but I've been managing to get sort of 40 minutes, so 1 or 2 of them in each day. So that's worked out pretty well. At least I'm making more progress because I'm being more consistent. So.
Oh, good. Okay. Good.
Anyway, so that's that. So other than that, not a lot. I'm not doing any more languages.
Famous last words.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing it. So yeah, even though I play the devil and try and tempt other people to learn languages, I'm not bearing that burden myself.
Oh, okay. Are you worried that you will have your polyglot membership revoked?
If I were lucky, that would happen, and then I wouldn't be spending money to be going to things. We're on YouTube again. We can start talking about the polyglot gathering again.
Oh yeah, that's our
another one.
What was it? Our one-trick pony. There you go.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Right.
So that's coming up again, and I've signed up for that. So we'll be doing that. That'll be interesting.
Great. I am registered, and I will submit a proposal for a talk. I still have to establish whether or not I can go. Right now, I am in the last leg of grad school for linguistics, and this weekend I will take my comprehensive exams. And after that, all I do is wait until they say I passed, and then I get my degree. And I will be traveling in early May, and then I will be graduating, and then I'm trying to justify being able to travel again in late May to go to the gathering. But I'm talking to some groups. I'm trying to get some people together to possibly fund part of my trip, or at least give me some information and some resources to talk about. So so we'll see. Yeah. So, but I'm really hoping to go, even if this is like the last hurrah to adult.
After you get a degree in linguistics, can you be a manager at McDonald's after that, or do you still have to work your way up?
I'll have to work my way up from there. There will still be a couple more classes, but I think that actually I worked for McDonald's back as an undergrad, so I'm pretty sure they'll take me back.
Okay, yeah, well that's good. That's good.
Yeah. And worst case scenario, I'll just start with IT. I'll just do something in IT and just really not be choosy. Hi, what?
Everybody does that.
Yeah.
Lots of competition. Yeah. So, what do people with degrees in linguistics? What do they actually? Can you actually get a job?
Well, hopefully, yeah. I mean, a number of them usually get their PhD and teach. They do research at universities, but there are also other organizations who are looking for linguists to work with. What's that?
Name one.
Name one. The Language Conservancy. They do language resources for a number of Native American languages. There are other groups like Living Tongues. The Endangered Language Project, I think, might be looking for people. Breath of Life, Colang, LSA. Maybe get some jobs with some of those groups. So we'll see.
Burger King, Arby's.
Mm-hmm. Oh, not Arby's. Not Arby's. Come on, man. Give me some credit.
I got a degree.
Yeah. So we'll see. So yeah. So this weekend are the exams, and then on Monday I start looking at the classified ads and start looking around. And I got some feelers out. I've been emailing linguists and reaching out.
Talk to the doctor about that.
Well, yeah. That's I've got a doctor's appointment on Tuesday.
All right.
So there, yeah. So, yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Right. So, what else have you been doing with languages?
Not a lot really. I got I don't know if you can see me very well. I'm gonna turn the light on.
Oh God, no! Oh, geez. Dude, you're doing so well.
Yeah. So, well, the only other thing I've been doing is reading. I found this. It didn't go well. I challenged myself to read for 24 out of 48 hours.
Why?
I think I managed like 3. So,
oh,
it
okay.
didn't work out for me there.
Now, did you run out of coloring books?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, great. Hey, don't mind me. I'm just yeah, that's nice. Okay, good. That's great. Wonderful. Hold on. Just no, keep talking. Oh, there's your dog.
Dogs. There's authorized walking outside.
No, of course.
They don't allow that. Yeah. And if you're going to walk out on my street, you're going to have to get a pass in advance, 30 days. You know, my dog has to put his paw print on it. Oh, that is.
Well, I hope to be near your neighborhood in early May. So I'll
alerted the police, and they're setting up CCTV cameras, and I've got that that warrant thing. What do they call it?
Restraining order.
That's the one.
Okay.
You're well familiar with those, I reckon.
Yeah, you're funny.
I know. I tell my kids that, but they don't believe me.
Tell me something else real quickly. Oh, I hate you so much.
Why are you doing this? Why are you taking these pictures? You feel free to take them because they'll all be gone soon.
I know. I can't wait to show this. Have the other forum members seen you in action?
No, I talked to Eugenio last night, so he knows. He's seen it. But that's about it.
Don't use real names. Don't use real names.
Oh, okay. That isn't his real name.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I think we're close. Yeah, if you pronounced it right. Yeah.
I thought his name was Fred.
Yeah, sure. That's it. Yeah, let's stick with that. Okay. So, great. Okay, so you're capping your languages. You're not going to study anymore. Are you going to continue all the ones that you've been studying? French, Setswana, Mandarin, and I guess you were doing Czech, and then you
forgot Italian. No, that Czech thing that's gone. The Czechs in the middle. That's it.
Okay. So French, Italian, Mandarin, and Setswana.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, great. And then you're going to go to the gathering.
Yep.
Okay.
And speak English.
Let's say again.
Speak English, and I'll speak English.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You're not going to present in French.
No, I did. I've done a proposal for a speech, which I wasn't going to do, so I'm actually hoping that they don't accept it. It's one of those things you think, oh yeah, that'd be a great idea, and then the enthusiasm of the moment, you fire off the email, and then you think, oh crud. What have I got myself in for?
No, wait, is this the one that you had shown me the rough draft, or is this a different one?
Yeah, no, that's the same one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So and that will be in English. We?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I have like 5 ideas for talks, and I know that I can only do one, or I should only do one. And as soon as I send it, I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? How am I going to put this together at the last minute? How can I procrastinate as much as possible? So, yeah.
How long can I procrastinate until I actually have to do something?
Yeah, I've gotten pretty good at that. I'm pretty good at procrastinating.
You're an expert. You're like the Yoda of procrastination.
I am. I should actually give a talk about the Polyglot's Guide to Procrastination. I'll do that next year.
Yeah. Well, do 2. Then you can procrastinate on them both.
Exactly. Wow. Double whammy. Yeah.
So, are you doing any language learning lately?
Very, very little, only because grad school has been just eating up my time, but I have been delving into a couple things. This year is the UNESCO has named 2019 the International Year of Indigenous Languages.
Oh, I thought it was the year of the pig.
No, your year was some other time. Oh, yeah, in your face. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Safe space. No. Anyway, no. So anyway, so UNESCO has been promoting indigenous languages. Other language groups have been hopping on board. So if you go to Facebook and you are, if you like any language groups, you will probably see postings of the, year of the indigenous language and whatnot. So I'm trying to work on getting back into Navajo, Tunica, Lakota, Choctaw, Cherokee, and Quiche. And I've dabbled in a number of these to different levels. So I'm hoping to just kind of work on them more and kind of share what I'm learning over the course of the year. And I'm in a couple of Facebook groups and I talk to other people. So those will be kind of slowly building. And then I'm still working on German, Spanish, Italian, French, a couple other ones here and there. So
I just ask a question.
Yeah, go for it.
English is an indigenous language, isn't it?
Not to here, not to America, and not really
about America. No, I'm not saying, but there is a place where English is indigenous.
And where would that be?
Kent, I think.
Kent. Okay, I never met him, but he sounds like a nice guy.
German, presumably German is indigenous to, I don't know.
Germany. Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, it kind of depends on how.
So pretty much indigenous language just means every freaking language, right?
Yeah, but I think there's de-emphasis on colonial languages, and I think that especially minority languages.
So you're saying that UNESCO is prejudiced against some languages, is what you're saying?
Kind of. I mean, English really is a Germanic language that kind of mixed with French, so it's sort of a Creole.
Okay, so just because they didn't get married doesn't mean you shouldn't really diss the language just because.
So, well, I guess technically every language is indigenous somewhere. Had to grow from somewhere, except for Esperanto. I don't think that's really an indigenous language. So.
Probably not, except for that guy's house, maybe. Zimmer Roth or some Lederhosen or whatever.
Zamenhof.
That's the guy.
Yeah. I forget his first name. Mr. Zamenhof. Yeah.
Oh, wasn't it Chuck?
Chuck. No, I think that was his brother, who's a plumber. Yeah. So. Anyway, so I'm hoping to work with groups who are kind of working on indigenous languages and that whole thing because it's part of revitalization. But I also still want to work on larger languages for fun and general communication. And I'll be working on Slovak in hopes of attending the gathering. So because this will be the last year, it's in Bratislava.
So where is it next year?
No one's announced it yet that I know of. Where would you want it to be?
Huh?
Where would you want it to be? Okay, sure. Would you go if it were?
Yeah, I would actually. Yeah.
Okay. No, that would be pretty interesting. A bit of a haul. What's that?
The beer's cheap.
Beer's cheap. Yeah. Well, it's cheap in Bratislava.
Yeah. We got like a year, advance of everybody else of learning the local lingo. So.
That's true. Yeah. How is it? Are you still doing the chat group with the other forum members?
No, they all sort of dropped out. And part of the problem is that we don't actually have a native speaker. But somebody did introduce me to a native speaker, and I have her on WhatsApp. So occasionally I send a text message of a word or a sentence or a phrase or something, and it's like, can you record yourself saying this for me, please?
Well, that's a pretty good resource. You haven't done any was it language exchanges?
No, really, because she's only got her phone. I suppose we could do a WhatsApp thing, but she's just helping me out. She's not really. I mean, she speaks perfect English, so there's no real reason for her to talk to me. I can't help her with anything. So. Because I don't know if she lives in Zimbabwe or South Africa. She doesn't actually live in Botswana.
Oh, okay.
But her English is perfect, so there's no need for me. An exchange is useless because she already knows English.
Yeah. Well, that actually you raise an interesting point that I think that some people have mentioned that at the gathering there has not been a strong representation of African languages. And so I think the whole Botswana or the Setswana learning was going to kind of, it was going to be sort of a goof. It was going to be kind of fun if a bunch of us showed up and we put the little, Setswana or the Botswana stickers on our badges. But I think that that's actually kind of good for helping to promote African languages. And that actually might be a topic to consider presenting on. So thank you for that, Rick. I appreciate that.
That would be a good idea, because to be honest, the only people I ever saw that had any sort of African language was Afrikaans, which really is that's not native to Africa. That's a sort of a Creole type English Dutch thing happening there. So yeah, I think there were some people that were learning Swahili, possibly.
I think so, yeah.
But it's few and far between, basically.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And there's so many African languages out there. And the interesting thing about African languages is that, for colonial languages, everywhere, like English has overridden the indigenous languages of America, the U.S. and Canada and whatnot. Spanish has kind of overtaken the indigenous languages of South America and so on. But I've recently discovered that African languages are dying out, not because of colonial languages like English or Dutch or Portuguese or French, but because of other larger African languages, which I found fascinating, because you would think that, it's Africa, it's one big continent, and if you keep it hermetically sealed, then all the languages will exist and no colonial influence will come in and eliminate them. But that is not actually the case. So I found that fascinating.
Yeah, I suppose, you don't really think about it, but if languages die off all the time, or historically, I'm sure there's languages that have come and gone, Assyrian and Babylonian and Middle Egyptian and all that, they all died a death. And it wasn't because they were all taken over by the English. Not every language is destroyed by the English.
No. Well, exactly. And languages die naturally. They also change naturally, and that's something that comes up in discussion. Where how do you keep a language from changing? Because once it changes, if it adopts words from other languages, then that makes it impure. But that's also a natural course for languages to take. And I think on a very early video that we had done, you had mentioned. Like Old English. Why would we save Old English? Languages change and die out and everything. And we don't speak the English that they spoke, a century ago. And, same with Greek and Italian and everything. Latin didn't really die. Latin just turned into different languages that are spoken today. So, and that's there, there's definitely some naturalness to that. But at the same time, when communities that still exist, they are just when they stop speaking their language because there are no jobs in that and there's no social prestige, then you kind of have to look at that and say, okay, well, is this natural or is this somewhat oppressive? And and there are debates on that and a lot of discussions, but we definitely want to keep these languages from dying unnaturally, because there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of science in these. So
there's another talk for you. You could talk about the difference between language oppression and language attrition. It just changes because, well, for economic reasons, that sort of thing. But there's an interesting show I've been watching from Singapore, which is how do they say it? Singnese, but it was basically Singapore and Chinese. Okay. And the way that the Chinese spoken in Singapore has adopted strange words, or they've adopted lots of sort of Malayan words or English words, or and it's just a mishmash of words, and also the sort of strange they've picked up words just because it used to be on this street. And so I don't know, I can't remember specific examples, but it was things like, this street they always sold sweets, and so they they sell the whatever this they call this sweets is from, they just call it, they named it after this street basically. So it's weird stuff like that languages just pick up over time, and they've poured in, like cafe, for coffee and things like that just get pulled in. And there was some I remember they talked about a bazaar, and they pronounce it differently, but they got bazaar from Malay, which came from sort of Indonesian, which they got from Arabic traders in sort of like Morocco and things. So it was just this weird torturous route that this word got to Singapore, through sort of Indonesia, Malaysia, China, then down into Singapore. So it's a really quite interesting show, and they talk about just the weird and wonderful ways that languages morph into different dialects and accents and things like that.
Oh, definitely, yeah. No, there's I saw something recently on something either similar or identical to what you're talking about called Singlish, and it's how Singapore English also has Mandarin, Malay, and I think one other language, Chinese, English, Malay, and something else, and just how it fuses together, and
Mao.
What's that?
Mao.
Mao?
Mao.
Oh, wait,
Tamil, sorry, yeah.
Okay, there we go. I'm like, who's Kamau? Are you sending me a note? Oh, there we go. That's great. What do you? Oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay.
It's from the Indian subcontinent.
Okay, yes, exactly, Tamil. Thank you. So, yeah, and I've been taking a class called Language Contact, talking about how languages come together, and I did a short paper on Haitian Creole, and it's amazing what languages came together to form that, because it is Taino, which is the indigenous language of Hispaniola, and then Columbus came and kind of killed off all the speakers, and then got African slaves to come in, and they would learn French, but not even regular French, but just sort of dialects of French. So it wasn't the pure proper French that we know today. And then slaves would pick up words, but use like West African language grammar. So you would have different word order, and it's really amazing. It's a tragic story, but it's amazing how all these languages fused, all these West African languages, French, some English, some Taino, and so on. So I love stories like this. I'm really starting to get more involved and interested in reading them and hearing about how languages kind of become, for lack of a better word, impure.
You should write a book.
I'd like to. Yeah, I'm mainly, it's a picture book, so it's called Smiley Faces Galore, and it's written in crayon. But no, I actually, even though I won't be pursuing any other degree after this, at least not for a while, I'd really like to do some research and write a paper, try and get something published, and really kind of go more academic. But I also want to kind of combine academic with sort of like the casual polyglot, hobbyist enthusiast side. So I'm trying to find a way to fuse those together, and I think I'll be working on a talk for the gathering that kind of tries to do that.
Well, that should be interesting. I'd like to see that. That looks like that'd be a good trick.
Smoke and mirrors, yes. So, but we'll see, because I think the polyglot community has a bit to offer, and I think that a lot of polyglots have talents that make them sort of good at being, at becoming linguists, or at least applying some linguistic skill to what they do.
So they're applied linguist as opposed to cunning linguist.
Okay, that's you're cut off.
Edit this later on.
So.
Yeah, no, I have to edit. So you're doing your talk for the gathering, or at least you got a few, but you had to do a proposal, right? So you must have picked one.
Not yet. The proposals aren't due until the 10th, so I'm still tweaking things. I'm not even going to worry about it until after this weekend, because I've got the comps and everything. So I've just been studying. I've been learning about, or reviewing all these linguistic topics and terms, including contact, as well as morphology, which is how words are put together, phonology, which is how the sounds come together to make words, language socialization, typology, which is categorizing languages by their qualities. So some have subject, object, verb, word order. Others have object, verb, subject, word order, and so on.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Not
So it's kind of
it sounds like a whole load of work for not a lot of benefit, to be honest.
Well, it's the benefit is getting my degree, is passing and getting my degree. So, but no, it's fascinating, and the languages that I've gotten to see bits and pieces of has been, you know, a polyglot's dream. But it's not in the context of learning the languages to use them. It's kind of learning what the language, you know, what the man behind the curtain, you know, running the language does. You know, it's how these sounds come together and why do they change a certain way, and why do certain words, you know, there's bake and past tense is baked, but there's take, but we don't say taked, we say took. Why? What was the reason why that word takes a different past tense?
Because that one's right and the other one's wrong.
Okay, well, okay. So the past tense of bake is book.
No, I think it's looked.
Looked. Okay. Oh, okay.
Actually, that was always one of the ones I just down a little rabbit hole here about. There's look and looked. Not look. Is it looked and looked? Or like, didn't they used to spell looked like meant? You know what I mean? You don't say meaned, right? You say meant. And I thought looked was like that, like looked, not looked with a E. But I mean, I've just looked at too many languages now. My brain just can't.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but at the same time, there are verbs that the past tense ends with a t sound, like a T, like look. Other ones where like beg, it ends with a D sound, begged. And then there are, what are some other ones, like scratched? No, scratched. There's some that end with an ed sound, like
bled.
Well, no, well, like
bled. Because you don't say bleeded, you say bled.
Right. But what I'm saying is that one is an internal change, bleed to bled. That actually is not the present tense with something added on. So yeah, like plead, you could say pleaded. So that one, or hatted, that's not a word. But anyway, yeah, so like pleaded. So anyway, so those are
what about was.
I
was really mad.
No, you weren'ted.
What about ain't?
Ain'ted. There you go.
Ain't a word.
I ain't gone. Maybe I think that's universally past tense and present tense, and pluperfect progressive future injunctive. I swear I'm not making these up.
No, I believe you. I've seen a grammar book, and there are weird words like that in there. Nobody understands.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's nice. It's nice having this, you know, this education and this knowledge and whatnot. Again, I can't apply it directly to the polyglot community and to most of the polyglots. I'm sure that that's not really the route that they want to go. But I'm also learning things about languages that make me go, oh, this is why this happens here in this language, like sing, sang, sung. Like why does that internal change happen? And it comes from Indo-European, because they had things called ablaut. And again, it's way beyond what you'd need to know, you know, outside of just memorizing words and using them in context. But it's kind of neat to see the history of how language evolves.
Very, very.
Yeah.
Depending on your point of view.
Yeah. Well, you're an IT guy, so what do you know?
Well, I've seen languages evolve. I've seen C go to C++, and that changed to Java. Which,
yeah, but then they all got wiped out by Python, because Python is the English of coding languages.
Yeah. Well, I, for one, welcome our computer overlords.
Well, they'll be here in about 20 minutes.
So any other future plans other than the gathering and graduation? And
look, I'll be looking for a job. I'm going to be looking all over the world, so I might end up in England or Seattle or Indonesia or Hong Kong. I mean, it really depends on what I end up doing and where I can find a way to do it.
You should try for New Zealand. And the reason I say that is it's because it's almost exactly the opposite side of the world from where I am.
Yeah, but they have a direct shuttle bus to London, so it's really not that hard to get a little closer and harass you.
Man, I'm gonna have to move to Mars or something.
oh, please do. I'll get the moving truck.
You go first. You can talk to the Martians.
No. Actually, though, you say New Zealand, but Australia would be. I mean, that place is rife with Aboriginal languages and language work. So we'll see. Say again.
And snakes.
And snakes, yes, and dangerous, and kangaroos.
Yeah, and sharks, and fire tornadoes, and all kinds of stuff.
And bloodthirsty kangaroos.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so
we're not really selling it.
Yeah, actually, Australian Aboriginal languages are also highly underrepresented at these polyglot events. So,
Well, that might be because it's literally on the other side of the world. So you don't get a lot of people traveling. You get that one fella. He always does. He does some interesting stuff for Aboriginal Indigenous language things.
Brian Liu.
That's the one.
Yeah. I was just thinking he did Walpurgis at the last gathering.
I thought we weren't going to use real names.
Oh, I'm not. I was talking about Vadim, but I'm using a code name, Brian Liu.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So.
Right.
Hey, speaking of giraffes, no, sorry, sorry, Vadim.
Cut that out.
Yeah, exactly. So, excellent. Well, yeah. So I basically it's just exams this weekend. Start looking for work, and then see if I can make it to the gathering.
Okay. Well, we're about to run out of time, and I've probably edit this down to less than 10 seconds of valuable information. But I might leave it alone. Anyway, so it was good talking to you, Dave.
Yeah, good to see you. Hopefully, we'll see you soon, and we'll meet up. Yeah. All right. We'll say goodbye in French.
Au revoir.
All right, and we'll say goodbye to Rick's beard and to our fans and our crowd.
If you're a fan, it's gone here today, tomorrow.
Right. Good luck with the job interview, and we shall video and podcast record soon.
Okay, see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Right. Good luck.
Bye.